Hey guys, it's Rich Boy J here, back again with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you my Holy Grail Lego set that I finally got to purchase. Now this is probably the most meaningful video that I've ever put out for you guys, so I'm actually really excited to show you what I got. Now before I get into showing you the actual set, let me just set the scene for you. So I was just sitting at home a few weeks ago, and I was like, thinking about different new Lego things I could buy, different sets I may want to have here while I'm at school, just to give you something to have here, because I have the Last Jedi sets here, but I'd like to have a little bit more of a diverse collection here at school, just to, I guess, make up for my lack of collection, because I have so much stuff back home. But I digress. So I was thinking, and this set popped into my mind, and honestly I hadn't been thinking about it for a while because I've just been doing so many other Lego things recently, like building mocks, getting other sets, doing stuff like that, that this set has ultimately got pushed back to the back of my list of things to get. So I thought about it and I was like, hey, I haven't really followed along with what I wanted to do with Lego sets for the past few years. I kind of made the decision a couple years ago that every year I want to get myself a really cool Lego set, something that I either really wanted as a child or that I really want moving forward, just something cool that I don't have. So 2 years ago I got the Imperial Star Destroyer, the UCS one, and I think that, like I said, that's still my top Lego set, favorite Lego set of all time. And then a year ago I actually got the UCS Imperial Shuttle, so I was really happy to have that set as well. I think that's one of the best Lego sets that Lego has ever made, so that one meant a lot to me as well. And I was thinking, I was like, well, I haven't really done that this year, so what could I do that could live up to those two sets? Or those are two very classic Lego Star Wars sets. And then this very obvious option popped up into my mind, and I found it at a really great price, something I was really happy to pay for it. And lo and behold, I finally have it. So without further ado, guys, this is my Lego Star Wars Holy Grail set. It's right here. I finally have my hands on the original Republic gunship. Now I understand this is not as impressive as those other two sets, the Star Destroyer and the Shuttle, and it's not as big as either of those sets. It's not as complicated, or it's not even really as good of a set as those two sets. But this is easily the most meaningful Lego set that I've ever owned. And there's a reason that I wanted to get it new, sealed in the box. So going back, I started really getting into Lego Star Wars in about 2005, which was when Episode 3 came out. But I actually got into it a little bit before Episode 3. It wasn't really Episode 3 that got me into it. I just happened to get into it around that time, so it actually worked out perfectly. But I remember one day I was in class, and I had one of my old friends walked in, and I guess he had taken a semester off, like he went to another school for a semester, but then ultimately came back. And then he's like, hey, so we caught up, and he's like, hey, and I guess I was in the 4th grade at the time, actually. But his first question to me was like, do you play Lego Star Wars? And I thought about it, and I was like, well, I don't really know anything about Star Wars, but I could remember seeing like a commercial for the Lego Star Wars game on TV, and I was like, yeah, I guess I've seen that before. And I knew I had some Star Wars sets from back when I was really little, like when the Phantom Menace came out. And he was just like, yeah, you should play it, you should get it, it's a really great game. And I think for the next 3 or 4 weeks, all I heard about was him just telling me about Lego Star Wars and all the new characters that he was unlocking and all the cool things he was doing in that game. So I was just like, okay, I gotta finally get this game. So after begging my mom to buy it for me, I finally got Lego Star Wars. And I remember it because it was such a great day. I got picked up from school, and we went straight to Toys R Us. Hopefully they'll still be around in the future, but that's another story. And I got Lego Star Wars the game, and that was ultimately what spearheaded my love for just Lego Star Wars as a whole, because at that point I started getting more and more sets. So I guess I really just started off with kind of getting the Episode 3 sets, because that was like the new wave that was out at the time. So I got a lot of those sets, and I got a lot of the original trilogy sets that came out at that time. And I guess at some point I was on the internet looking up pictures of Lego Star Wars, because at that time, whenever I got the chance to get on the internet, I was always doing something Lego Star Wars related. I was looking up pictures of whether it be like the game when I didn't have it, or I was looking at like pictures of different Lego sets. I was on brickshelf.com a lot. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's a super old, like, Lego specific image hosting site. It's honestly quite amazing that it's still around. I think it actually got shut down for a little bit, but like that's where I used to go to find all my Lego news, and it was so like roundabout the way I had to do it too. Like it's a very simple website, but I basically just go in and I would literally type in like Star Wars and then the year it was, and then it would like show pictures of the new Star Wars sets that were coming out before you could see them, you know, like on the Lego website or something like that. So I would always go to that website to get all my Lego Star Wars news. And then I guess I stumbled upon some of the sets that came out in the previous movies wave, so like the 2002, 2003 Attack of the Clones sets, and I found this thing, and I was just instantly blown away. Like, I fell in love with this. I mean, the fact that it had like the episode 2 clones in it, and I mean, now that's really not a big deal, but at the time it was, because you could only get the Phase 2 clones in any of the sets in stores. And this was before the age where buying things online was really popular. Like, my mom, I remember, like, I would ask my mom, like, is there any way, like, I could possibly buy this? And, of course, the only way was, like, eBay or something. And she was, like, really skeptical. She didn't want to put her, like, bank account information or credit card information online at the time. So this set was just not a possibility for me. There was no way that I could obtain it unless I, like, found it randomly somewhere, like, at a garage sale or something. But at the age of 10 years old, I didn't control how many garage sales I got to go to. So, I would just look at pictures of the set, and I was just so in love with it. I was so amused by it. Like, the fact that it's a drop ship, and it, you know, has the 2 pilots, the guns on the wings, the guns on the sides, all that cool stuff, all the cool features. And I was just like, man, like, I really want that set. And I couldn't have it. Like, there was no way for me to get it. And I mean, it wasn't like there was a lack of sets at the time. Like, that was around the time when the Clone Turbo tank came out, and that was one of my favorites as a kid too. But ultimately, this was the one I always wanted to have, and it eluded me. I was never able to get it, and I think that was always kind of a hole in my Lego collection. Like, the fact that I never got to get the original, the First Republic gunship, the one that ultimately made me fall in love with Lego Star Wars. Without this set, without me just agonizing over wanting this set so badly as a kid, I don't know if I'm as big of a fan as I am today. So this thing means a lot to me. So then, I guess, fast forward a couple years, and the Clone Wars is coming out, and they're going to release a New Republic gunship. And this was the biggest deal ever for me. And it worked out perfectly because it actually came out like a few weeks after my birthday. My birthday's in July. I think it came out at the end of July. So it worked out perfectly. And I got my grandmother to take me to Midnight Madness at Toys R Us to buy the new like Star Wars Clone Wars sets. And I actually convinced her, I convinced her to get me 2 of the New Republic gunships. And I'm guessing, I think I primarily wanted it just to have 2 Republic gunships because, like, it was such a big deal. My parents and my grandma knew how much I wanted this set so badly throughout my childhood, because it was the one thing I always asked them for and I was never able to get. But then also the fact that it had, I guess, the like swappable stickers on the sides, I probably wanted to be able to have both versions of it. So I was able to get 2 of the Republic gunships. I got the ATTE, and I think I got like the Spider Droid as well. Just a complete assortment of Clone Wars ships, and it was one of the best days of my life. But ultimately, I found myself getting less and less interested in it. And I think it was that it didn't really touch me the way that maybe this set would have, because of the Clone Wars minifigures. They didn't look right next to everything else in my collection. The weird styling, the bug eyes, the like very stylized designs on the torsos. It didn't do much for me. Like, I was happy to have a Republic gunship, but it didn't mean as much to me. And I think I also was kind of had some reservations with the fact that they opted for, I guess, the space version of the gunship, which has the 2 doors on the sides that it can close all the way up. I was a huge fan of having the bubble turrets on the sides, so not having those as well also kind of disappointed me. And I ultimately think that the Clone Wars was kind of got me into my dark ages of Lego Star Wars. I guess it had gotten to the point where, like, you know, I had just waited to get the Republic gunship for so long. That was the end-all, be-all of all Lego sets for me. And then I finally got it, and it just didn't really live up to what I wanted. It didn't live up to the hype, I guess. So I kind of went into some dark ages, and then I guess at some point I got back into Lego Star Wars, obviously, because I'm here now. But that kind of was my background. That was my Lego story. That's kind of how I came to fall in love with this set and the Republic gunship in general. And I mean, it's honestly amazing that I finally have it now. I can't wait to open it up. I can't wait to build it. And this is honestly a special occasion because I don't usually go out of my way to buy old Lego sets new in the box. It's honestly just much cheaper to buy it used. I don't really, unless it's in terrible condition, I don't really care if it's used or if it's built or something like that. I just want the set. Don't usually care about having the box either, but this was one that I wanted to get boxed. I wanted it to get sealed. I wanted to have the full experience with like opening it up and unbagging it and being the first person to put it together and like looking through all the instruction manuals and the box art and stuff like that. Like I wanted to get all those experiences that I didn't get to have as a kid with this Lego set that I really wanted. So this is probably one of the few times where I will go out of my way to find a Lego set and pay a little bit more for it to have it sealed to get the full experience. But because I do have it this way, I was looking around on YouTube and I noticed there aren't really any unboxing videos of the Old Republic gunship, which doesn't really surprise me. Like, it's a pretty obscure set for something like that. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to do a separate video where I'm going to unbox this thing. I'm going to go through like the box art, the instructions, maybe some little extra pamphlets that come inside the set. I don't know, we'll see. And then maybe I'll do a tiny like review or my impressions on finally building the Lego set that meant so much to me as a kid. So that's pretty much going to finish up this one, guys. I appreciate you for watching this. This is something that really means a lot to me. This is the most meaningful Lego set that I've ever owned. So I'm glad that I finally own it. And I think this is a good time for me to kind of engage with you guys in the comment section. So like, let me know what your Holy Grail Lego set is. Like, what's the set that got you into Star Wars, that made you fall in love with Star Wars, or Lego Star Wars specifically? Let me know in the comment section. I think it'll be cool to kind of see different, like, what periods of Lego Star Wars you guys got into, and what sets you guys really care about. So that'll be something cool for us all to do. And finally, guys, I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this now and you haven't subscribed and you like the videos that I put out, please go ahead and do so. I urge you. I'm going to do another minifigure giveaway once I hit 3,000 subscribers. I want to give something back to you guys who have supported me, who watch these videos, and who get something out of this YouTube channel that I do. So that's pretty much going to finish up this one, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again very soon with some haul videos and some things like that. So stay tuned, and I will be